We'll get right into the show in just a minute, but first, most of the time, I don't recommend that anybody listen to any podcast except The Brad Johnson Show because, let's just be honest, most podcasts out there are hashtag loserly to the extreme. But I have recently found and discovered and come across and discovered some other podcasts that are not that loserly. They're actually pretty winnerly, and I want to introduce you to them in their own words right here.
Freedom. Freedom to work if, when, on what, and how much you want. Freedom to help, freedom to be. On Flipping Genius, we turn can't into can, won't into will, and set our listeners free. Freedom to become flipping geniuses. Flipping Genius is a podcast that will open your mind to one of the most lucrative businesses. You've likely heard of people flipping houses for big money, and you may have said to yourself, that looks great, but I don't have the time or the money. We teach you how to do the same thing with cars, and cars can be done for a lot less money, and the margins are usually even better. I'm Randy Lee. I'm the host of Flipping Genius, the podcast about car flipping. I'm a living example that you can be successful with little or no mechanical ability. Look for Flipping Genius wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this second half of this awesome episode where we cover all the travel hacks that you need to know. I know other people who just kind of throw travel hacks in their podcast. It's kind of like oh, here you go, by the way. And it's like, that is so lame. We do 2 episodes, okay? Because this is the Brad Johnson Show, and we don't do anything halfway. We do it, all of it, all the way. And that is one of my life mottos. So hope you guys enjoy this part 2. And remember to share it with an entrepreneur in your life who needs some travel hacks. Enjoy. Brad Johnson Show. I'm turning losers like you into winners like me. You're about to enter the winning zone. All right, so the next topic that we really need to cover is food, okay? And this is something that I have just honed and perfected over the years. And James, you've worked with some of my VAs on actually like dialing in my food regime on the day of travel and up to 3 days following some kind of airplane travel, just to make sure that I'm optimal all the way.
Definitely. Yeah. You not only do you have to keep in mind your energy levels while you're traveling, you also have to keep in mind the potential for motion sickness and picking up illnesses from other travelers. So you have to prepare by eating differently 3 days in advance at least before you begin traveling. Otherwise, you will get sick and you will become ill from the motion of the airplane.
Yeah, and just the energy that you have while on the plane and reducing jet lag afterwards. It all comes down to your nutrition, people, and also your just hashtag jackedness that you got to have as well, which I definitely have. If anyone has seen me, that is definitely the case. So basically, 3 days prior, I start a juice fast, and then 8 hours into it, I break that juice fast with a real fast where all I have is kale chips, and I have some unsalted kale chips, but then I also have some just straight sea salt.
Right.
Okay, so that's the first day.
And what that does is
all right, so
the salt actually draws out the toxins that cause illness.
Yeah. All right, so then that's the first day is the juice cleanse followed by the kale cleanse without salt, but then having the salt separately. There's just something about that, having them separately. It's very important. I'm not sure why, but it is. So then on the second day, what I do is I have, and this is going to sound a little crazy, but I have nothing but In-N-Out burgers. Now, people, yeah. I get a lot of flack for this. People are like, wait, what is going on here? I thought you were like a health nut. I'm like, I'm not a nut, okay? I'm more like an awesome person who enjoys health. But basically the reason is that I'm accustoming my body to the stuff that it may be confronted with later on. And, if you've ever been at an In-N-Out, you know that there's some stuff in there. Like, you're not just getting a burger is what I'm saying.
Definitely. And really that, prepares you, for when you're traveling. You never know when someone's just going to hand you a hamburger. So you got to be ready for that.
All right, so that second day, just nothing but In-N-Out burgers. It's really preparing your body, and I do at least 7, and that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I usually end up more in the 9 to 12 range, and people ask milkshake, no milkshake, fries, no fries, and I say just you gotta hone this system. For me, it's 1 to 1.5 milkshakes and 4 to 7.5 things of fries. And that's really my golden spot right there. This is stuff that I've developed over years of testing and tons of travel.
Yeah, lots of research goes into this, and sometimes people will come back with, "Is Sonic okay?" And to that, we always say no, because obviously
No.
Sonic is just far inferior in its quality. I mean, the blizzards are just atrociously bad for you.
Give me a
So
break.
it's really, there's really no comparison there.
No, and then other people are like, okay, well, what if I don't have an In-N-Out where I live? And my response to that is, okay, move. I mean, it's not that hard. I've done it.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So that's day 2 as I'm prepping. Day 3 is another juice cleanse. And this, I say juice, but we're not talking about just like apple juice or something like this. I mean, we're talking more like celery and cucumber and strawberry. Okay. When I mix those 3 and then a little bit of jalapeno and some cayenne pepper and then about 1.5 cups of honey. Okay. And people are like, okay, well, how much of the other stuff? And it doesn't really matter. The 1.5 cups of honey is it's more the base actually for the drink. So that little juice cleanse there. I tell you how it tastes, but honestly, after I drink it, I usually can't remember. It's kind of things get fuzzy for a little bit, but that's just mind blowing. Okay. So then you're ready to travel. And what I tell people is, when you're on the day of travel, you need to wake up, you need to drink a glass of water, and it needs to be fresh spring water, okay? If you can't find some, get some.
Yeah.
And then once you have that fresh spring water in you, you need to definitely floss. I think that's one of the most important things. And people are like, well, what does that have to do anything? And it's because you want to make sure that there's nothing in your teeth that you could accidentally swallow that would mess up the whole diet for the travel.
Exactly. And this is where it becomes really crucial to prepare for the day of travel by getting some materials ahead of time. So the first thing I always get when I'm getting ready to travel that I take with me the day of is fig paste. And that is, you don't eat it directly. You just keep it in your bag, but just knowing it's there at any time that you might need it is really helpful.
Okay. All right. So then as you're traveling, I always take plenty of beef jerky. I think the more potent you can make it, the better, because that'll kind of help mask any smells that are around you. That's big. Definitely have, something really strong like cracked black pepper, I think is really good, or teriyaki. Can't go wrong with teriyaki.
Yeah, or just even a bag of black pepper to munch on while you're traveling.
Yeah, that would probably be the vegetarian option if you weren't going to do the beef jerky. But so basically you are on a diet of beef jerky the entire time. And the key here is don't eat while you're on the plane. Okay, you can eat off the plane, you can eat before you get on the plane, but don't eat while you're on the plane. And the reason for that is that your stomach is pressurized in the cabin.
Right.
And I mean, James, what do I always say about pressurized things?
Pressurized things will always become as pressurized as they need to be based on the atmospheric conditions and the current stock market conditions as well.
Hashtag science, people. Okay, so while you're on the plane, your stomach is compressed because of the compression of the airplane. And then when you get off, what happens to something that's been compressed and then it's no longer compressed?
It becomes depressed.
Basically, so you have a depressed stomach that is actually expanded. So if you put anything in your stomach while you were on the plane, then suddenly it's like, oh, I'm hungry again, because your stomach was so compressed and it felt like it was full, even though it wasn't, but then it like expands and then you're like, I'm hungry again. And that could lead to overeating, which could lead to obesity, which could lead to death.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
so those are the stakes we're dealing with here.
Those little bags of pretzels will do insane amounts of damage to your body. So if you find yourself reaching for that second bag of pretzels, just stop immediately.
Stop. Yeah. And then people ask me, okay, Brad, what about drinking on the plane? And this is slightly different because liquid is able to compress as well. So food, not as much. Liquid, yes. Okay. So usually I'll do, when the stewardess asks, what I want for drink to drink, I'll say, I usually have a V8 just because, it's like 47 servings of vegetables or something like that. Crazy. Always good to get the vegetables in. But then I'll probably have, an orange juice with a Sprite, and then I make sure that they put them in separately. Or they don't dump them together. They give me a cup of each, and then I can sip from one and sip from the other, and that really helps them stay fizzy longer.
Yeah, that makes sense. And something else I will do, as far as the drinks go, never get an alcoholic drink on a plane unless it's over $15. Okay, you do not. Last thing you want to do is to have some low quality drink on the airplane. So make sure it's over $15, even for one of those little tiny bottles. Otherwise, you will regret it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is, sometimes people just take their own alcohol on. You just have to make sure that it's less than the 3.5 ounces or whatever. So you have a bunch of little tiny 3.5 ounces. It can get a little cumbersome, but it probably would be worth it. Depending on what class of the airplane that you were sitting in. Okay, so then the next question that I always get is, okay, Brad, sleep mask, no sleep mask, little neck pillow or no neck pillow. And what I always say to that is those neck pillows were not chiropractor approved. Okay.
No, not at all. And that's really where you need to do research on getting a sleep helmet. And what that does is it completely encompasses your head and has a built-in neck support. So if the plane, crashes or runs into something, your neck will be protected, just like as if you were wearing a motorcycle helmet, but it's also a sleep helmet. So there's no face shield, so it's completely dark. And it also has built-in
and the rest
headphones.
The rest of your head will be protected too if there was a plane crash, which it's crazy to me. I mean, people, when they're racing a car or driving a motorcycle, they'll wear a helmet, but they'll get in an airplane, which could crash at any moment.
Way faster.
Way faster. Yeah, I've done the math. It is going faster than a motorcycle. So that is definitely, having a helmet is definitely a good idea and provides all those other benefits. I mean, people will be like, wow, this guy must be like a famous race car driver or something like that. And so, yeah, you can end up signing some autographs from people that don't even know who you are.
Great networking opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. And so then another travel hack is a plane is the perfect time to write a book. Now, a lot of people don't think about this, but when you're on a plane, then you have nothing else to do besides, watch a movie or listen to an audiobook, or, you can listen to a podcast or talk to somebody next to you, or, read a book. I don't know who does that these days, but you could read a book, you could write, you could draw. But other than that, there's really nothing else that you could do on a plane, or sleep. I guess you could do that. But other than that, there's nothing else that you could do. And that's why it's perfect time to actually just, write that book.
Definitely. And another thing is, if you're into the fine arts, practicing your singing is a great opportunity to do that on the plane. People will love it. And it's just a fantastic way to use the time.
Oh, wow. I'm shocked to say, James, I actually hadn't thought of that. That is, that would be, you've got a captive audience too. And who knows if you're in the right plane at the right time, like maybe you're flying in and out of, Nashville or Hollywood or something like that. There could be somebody on there who hears you and you're discovered, just boom.
Exactly. And I'd be happy to demonstrate right now if you'd like me to.
No, I think we're good. All right. So I think, that's great. Okay. So actually, now that you say that, I am pretty sure that is how Usher was discovered, was on a plane as he was doing his vocal workouts. Wow. So, it could happen to you.
Definitely.
But probably not. Okay, so there we go. Now you are landing in the plane and you're getting off. And like I said, if you use the peanut workaround, then you're probably the first to get off, which is awesome. And as you get off, then your next step is to go into your post-travel meal routine. Now, this does not include any juice cleanses. Instead, this is more along the lines of we do a cheese cleanse to begin with, and that is got to be 100% organic Parmesan. Okay, that is the only cheese that I found worked.
Yes, that's the only acceptable variety, definitely.
Yeah, and shout out to my entrepreneurial buddy there, Dexter Guff, as for turning me on to the cheese cleanse. That was a life changer right there. So that's the first day. Is just do the cheese cleanse, and a lot of times when you get to a new place, people want to take you out to dinner and stuff, and just say no. Like, it doesn't matter if you're missing out on a big business opportunity. If you get jet lag, then you will miss out on thousands of business opportunities. So it's kind of you got to weigh that in the balance.
Definitely, and it's just it's a bit of a risk, but you just have to find what works for you as far as your diet goes.
Okay, so that's day one, is the cheese cleanse. Day two, you definitely want to get back into kind of more your normal routine. And for me, this involves green smoothie in the morning, and involves my cayenne water along with just straight shots of apple cider vinegar. Also my mega protein shakes, and then my bulletproof coffee recipe from the awesome Chad Brock, of course. Love that. That's the best bulletproof coffee I've ever had. And a lot of times people are like, well, Brad, that's kind of hard because I don't have my kitchen, I don't have my stuff. And again, that's why you can order ahead and just have it there waiting for you. If you have to get a blender to do your bulletproof coffee, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is you can also just find a part-time personal chef in each city that you visit that, with the wardrobe, same sort of thing. Just prepare. Like, it's really not that hard. You just have to find a world-class chef in every city that you're visiting, and have them all prepared and know what menu you're looking for. And that way you can continue your standard of living wherever you go.
It's all about planning ahead. You really got to think through it and not just be like, oh, I'm traveling. Like, now I'm at the mercy of, whatever backwater city you may be in. Like, I don't know, Kansas or something like that. I don't know why you'd travel there. That'd be lame. But yeah, that's so there you go, people. That was day two. Day three, now that you're really back in your more normal routine, then that is when you can add in your normal intake of wines and grapes. Definitely hold off on the wines and grapes though before that point. And like I said, this is all backed up with my personal science and research from my personal experience and stuff like that. So you're gonna have to basically do exactly what I said, but then tweak it to be for you.
Yes, but also don't change it too much because you'll get it completely wrong.
That would be pointless. All right, man. I think that's about it. James, any other last minute travel hacks you want to throw in here for the peeps?
I would say probably one other great idea is when you're traveling, make sure that you don't wear deodorant, because you really need to just let your body acclimatize to your new environment. And the people on the plane next to you won't mind at all, because they'll understand the fact that you're just trying to get used to your new environment, and that using deodorant will slow down that process. So that's another good life hack.
Yeah. Like it. Okay, so there was one more thing. So with as you're traveling, you got all these devices and stuff like that, and it became hard to keep them charged. I mean, some old planes don't have like built-in chargers and stuff like that, and then other times there's people like in the way of the charger that you need. So that is why you want to sign up for an account for one of our sponsors, who we haven't heard from in a while, but I think maybe I'll play their ad right after this just so you can enjoy that and get signed up, because they would really be the solution for what you need there. So awesome. As always, I am. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed these travel hacks. If you have any travel hacks, I want to hear from you. Doubt they're very good, but I would definitely have one of my VAs read about it. So go ahead and get in touch with me. That's bradjohnsonshow@gmail.com or @bradjohnsonshow on all the social medias. I would love to hear from you. That mediums. I sound like an idiot saying
Medias.
Okay, so yeah, James, you want to give a quick little plug for the course?
Of course, no pun intended. The Brad Johnson Show course is live. It is available for purchase. If you go to the show description, there's a link where you can go directly to the course, get signed up. If you want, you can go and watch a preview of what you can expect to see in the course. You get to hear audio and you get to see video of Brad Johnson and myself discussing the most crucial keys to entrepreneurship that you need to unlock the door to success. So everyone needs to hear this. So if you haven't yet, go get the course, get your life on track, and go change the world.
Make it happen, people. All right. Thanks for listening. Doing these split episodes like we did this week, it pains me. I want to be able to provide you with tons of content every week, but in order to do that, I need you to go buy the course or go to anchor.fm/Brad-Johnson-show and click on support the podcast. That will help us bring you more content more quickly, more often, and more awesomely, which is what I'm all about. And being #winnerly. All right, so thanks for listening, guys. Remember to share the podcast, and we will catch you next week.
You've just listened to an episode of awesomeness. Now go out and spread the awesomeness and help others fix the mess that is their life and help them stop being a loser and start winning in business, health, and their personal life by getting them to listen to The Brad Johnson Show. Book your face, tweet your tweets, and Insta your grams at Brad Johnson Show. The Brad Johnson Show. Winners only.
When I was in school, I absolutely hated writing. It wasn't until I was a bit older that I came to understand the power of words. If you're a business owner, you understand that power too. A business blog, when done right, can drive sales, increase revenue, and get you more customers. But as a business owner, you probably don't have the time to do all that writing. Plus, if you're not a copywriter by trade, you might feel like you're just kind of throwing words out there and they're not actually accomplishing anything. The good news is, there's a simple solution. Check it out. I call it the ultimate blog post checklist for businesses with online stores. This checklist will allow you to write better, more effective articles that convert readers into buyers. It's full of easy-to-follow examples to get your creativity flowing based on experience of nearly 1 million words written, and best of all, it's effective on any type of article in any industry or niche. I've successfully used this exact checklist on topics from pool table reviews to investment advice. Tired of spending tons of time writing stuff that doesn't convert? This checklist will change that by giving you highly effective blog posts and articles that transform readers into paying customers. Go to invicta.enterprises/free checklist and start saving time and transforming your writing now. That's invicta.enterprises/free checklist.